Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's another cold start this morning, and we could have some icy roads out there. I'll show you where we're monitoring the roads coming up.
Hours-long standoff. A man accused of shooting two people shoots himself hours later. The new information we're expecting to learn today about the investigation in Granville County. And cuts possible. Today, Wake County school leaders will talk about difficult decisions, what they may need to do, and what it could mean for students and staff. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. Great to be with you here on this Wednesday. After 2 days of some winter weather, we're going to warm up today. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Before that warm up, though, a very cold start, and we're watching for some icy spots in our northern communities.
That's right. And I think it'd be fairly limited to only our northern communities and in some isolated spots. So I don't think this is going to be a big deal. But if you're in one of these highlighted counties, our counties that border Virginia, just take it slow out there this morning as temperatures are cold. Again, road temperatures right now are in the mid-20s to upper 20s in those communities, 28 in Raleigh, 29 in Fayetteville. But again, this is the area that had the most snow. We had some melting yesterday, and that would refreeze during the overnight hours because of temperatures like this. It's 30 degrees in Roxborough, 31 in Durham, 28 in Rocky Mount, and in Goldsboro, 29 in Fayetteville. So it is another cold start to the day today. It's going to be windy this afternoon, so go ahead and secure any of those holiday decorations you have if you haven't already. We could have gusts up to 35 miles per hour. But the good news today, after the cold start, it is going to warm up this afternoon. We'll thaw out a bit with a high temperature of 54. We do have another front that's going to move through. That moves through today. That's what brings us the winds. I'll show you what it does to our temperatures coming up.
Amy, thank you. Some school districts north of the Triangle are delayed or closed today because of possible icy conditions. Mecklenburg County schools in Virginia are closed today. Halifax County schools will be on a 3-hour delay. Granville, Northampton, Vance, and Warren County schools will operate on a 2-hour delay. Today, we will learn more about a shooting and hours-long standoff in Granville County. It ended when a man accused in a double shooting shot himself. WRAL's Ali Calabar is live at the State Bureau of Investigation office in Raleigh. Ali, we're looking to get updates on the conditions of the suspect and the victims.
Renee, the Granville County Sheriff's Office tells us that there will be a press conference later this afternoon. We're expecting to learn more about this standoff that brought SBI agents, SWAT teams, and several agencies to the county. Now, this video from Sky 5 shows the truck the shooter barricaded himself in for hours yesterday afternoon. Granville County Sheriff Robert Fountain says deputies responded to a shooting near Franklinton around 2 p.m. 2 people were shot. He says the shooter then barricaded himself inside a truck nearby on Pine Ridge Road. SWAT teams were there with guns drawn for hours. We spoke with a resident, Terry Sykes, who says she was evacuated from her home.
Cops came to my back door and evacuated me and my baby. I grabbed one baby bottle. I grabbed my baby, obviously, and went right out the door with the cops, and they surrounded me and him and got us out through the woods.
Scary moments there. Now, the standoff ended when the shooter shot himself. Now, Sheriff Fountain says that the shooter at last check around 10 p.m. was in critical condition. WRAL will be at the press conference today. It's expected to be around 1 p.m. We're working to find out the condition of the victims and the shooter, as well as what led up to this incident. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Happening today, Wake County school leaders are facing difficult decisions about their next budget. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at Wake County Schools headquarters in Cary. Kelsey, the school board is facing challenges over both state and federal funding, and that could lead to cuts.
Yes, Renee, they're working through a lot today. School leaders who usually work here inside the district headquarters are on a retreat right now, and they're hashing out all of the details for next year's budget that could possibly impact your child's school. There are more than $60 million worth of expected cost increases for next year. That's because of things like employee pay raises and higher insurance costs. School leaders are forced to make cuts to accommodate these higher costs. Now, they say this won't impact any educational functions that serve students in the classroom. They plan to cut vacant positions and repurpose jobs that are already on the payroll. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how school leaders are working to figure out how to do more with less.
It'll be interesting to see how this goes, largely because the school board has been, fairly generous for the budget for the last few years. There was some federal stimulus dollars that helped with that sense of comfort when it came to the budget in recent years, but those dollars went away.
So this is still an ongoing discussion. We're expecting that board members will offer some feedback in February, and then the superintendent will offer his official recommendation in March. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Leaders from Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools will be at the state legislature today to be grilled by Republican lawmakers. They accuse Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools of violating a new state law called the Parents' Bill of Rights. It bans books and other materials with LGBTQ themes from some elementary school classrooms. It also requires teachers to out transgender students to their parents in certain cases. NC Capitol reporter Will Doran says this hearing is being held to get some answers.
It's important to note that this committee can not only require them to be there, but also to testify under oath. So there's not going to be judges or a jury, but this is going to be a formal hearing where we expect to see a showdown between the two sides.
The hearing will begin at 9 this morning. Also happening today, Governor Josh Stein plans to make an announcement on funding for Medicaid. The lack of a new state budget has left Medicaid short millions of dollars. Stein responded by reducing what Medicaid pays hospitals and doctors for treating patients. As WRAL reported last week, Stein has been losing in court over that strategy. We'll be watching what Stein announces just after 9 this morning. For updates, go to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. A man is charged with a child sex crime at a school in Rolesville. 25-year-old Armani Fields is charged with a sex offense with a child under the age of 15. The town of Rolesville says this happened at Rolesville Charter Academy back on November 6th. Fields was arrested a few weeks later on Thanksgiving. We're still trying to find out Fields' relationship to that school. The town of Cary is remaining tight-lipped about why its town manager is on paid administrative leave. Last night, the town council held a closed work session. It was expected to discuss ethics and gift policies. The session came as town manager Sean Stiegel is on paid leave. A town spokesperson says Cary paid more than $37,000 in tuition payments for Mayor Pro Tem Lori Bush's master's degree. The spokesperson says Bush has paid the money back. And when asked if the money had been allocated for professional development, the town said it is still looking into that. New court documents show the WakeMed police officer who died in an emergency room shooting last month shot the man who is charged with killing him. 29-year-old Benji Martin is charged with killing Officer Roger Smith inside WakeMed's Garner facility last month. Martin spent nearly 2 weeks in the hospital before his first court appearance. He is now getting treatment at the Wake County Detention Center's medical unit. A domestic violence case against a Durham County judge may move to a different county. Chief District Court Judge Clayton Jones Jr. is charged with assault on a female and domestic violence. In a statement, his lawyers called the allegations false. Jones's case could be heard in Guilford County. That discussion won't start until next year. A woman is in custody after a robbery at a Moore County bank. Witnesses say 24-year-old Lyrical Tanner entered the Truist Bank in the Seven Lakes community around 11 yesterday morning. They say she demanded money and claimed to have a weapon, then ran away with the cash. Tanner was captured about 2 hours later. She is in jail without bond. Classes are canceled today at a high school in Winston-Salem after a student was stabbed to death. This happened yesterday at North Forsyth High School. Deputies say it started as a fight between two students. The school will have crisis teams available for students and staff when they return. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is worth $930 million. That's the 7th largest prize in the game's history. It's been growing since the last jackpot win more than 3 months ago. Lump sum cash value is $429 million. You can watch tonight's drawing on WRAL right before our 11 p.m. newscast. Child care crisis. A new push in North Carolina hopes to address teacher shortages, how it could make it easier for them to enter the workforce, and possible shipping delays. Aircraft used to help deliver packages are being investigated by the FAA, how it could affect your holiday shopping. And here's a live look at Fenton in Cary. The next weather maker is moving in. Just ahead, meteorologist Amy Wilmoth breaks down how the colder air could affect your weekend.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in for Elizabeth this morning. Plan for a little bit of frost on your windshield this morning, about 1 to 2 minutes. It shouldn't take you long, but there was a little bit of frost on my windshield this morning. It is cold out there, so bundle up. 29 in Wake Forest right now. It's also 29 in Garner, 30 in Cary, 28 in Apex. Bus ride this morning. The kids will need to bundle up with temperatures in the 30s. We'll be in the upper 30s around 9 o'clock this morning. It will be a little bit milder this afternoon, so you won't need the heavy coat later on today. Temperatures are going to climb into the 50s, 54 in Durham and Raleigh, 57 in Fayetteville. It is going to be breezy today, though. We could have some gusts up to about 30 to 35 miles per hour. And these gusty winds are coming with a cold front. I'll show you what that does to our temperatures moving forward.
We'll feel balmy with those highs. Amy, thank you. A new push in North Carolina aims to address the child care shortage by making it easier for teachers to enter the workforce. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is launching 16 child care academies. It's a partnership with colleges and universities across the state. The free program covers key health and safety trainings such as CPR, first aid, SIDS prevention, playground safety, and reporting welfare concerns.
The point of these child care academies is to provide a seamless process for new educators to meet licensure requirements. Programs can offer more spots to families. Many of our larger programs are under-enrolled because they can't find enough teachers.
Some of those programs are already up and running. For more information on how to get involved, look for this story on WRAL.com. Starting today, North Carolina will once again accept applications for an energy assistance program. The State Department of Health and Human Services received the federal funding it was waiting on throughout the government shutdown. The low-income energy assistance program helps people who meet a certain income criteria to pay their bills. This man proved it is never too late to get your degree. 90-year-old neurosurgeon David Kelly enrolled at UNC Chapel Hill in 1953. He had enough credits to be a sophomore and was admitted to the School of Medicine through an accelerated program. At the time, he was one class shy of his undergraduate degree. He went on to a career in neurosurgery, but always wanted to earn his bachelor's. UNC staff determined Kelly's undergrad record matched the 1955 requirement for a bachelor's degree in chemistry. So Kelly will take part in UNC's winter commencement on Sunday. His diploma will read Class of 1955. Congrats. Some of your holiday packages could be delayed this season. This comes after a deadly crash involving a UPS cargo plane in Kentucky that killed more than a dozen people last month. Following the crash, the FAA grounded many of the MD-11 planes that are typically used to help deliver packages. Supply chain experts say now the packages could be going into trucks, and those workers might not be prepared.
But now, instead of an airport worker handling that package, it's got to go to a ground hub. And maybe they didn't have the right staffing at the ground hub to handle those tens of thousands of packages that they thought were going to be at the airport.
In a statement, UPS says the company has taken steps to manage its network. Experts say shoppers should not procrastinate with holiday shopping and should always track their orders. There's no timetable on how long the planes will be grounded. Millions of people in the Pacific Northwest are under flood watches this morning. Homes and roads submerged underwater in Washington state. The flood system could bring 8 to 15 inches of rain. In the east, nearly 22 people were under winter alerts yesterday. Some first responders say the freezing weather is another battle they face.
The water, you shut anything off for a minute and everything freezes up. The hose lines freeze up, hydrant freezes up.
Freezing rain and ice from the Arctic blast also made driving conditions treacherous. This video from Virginia shows a harrowing rescue after a Tesla slid off the road and caught fire. Just so many problems with that winter weather. We certainly had our dose of winter weather earlier this week. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth now shows us the winds of change and what's coming. Look at that high of 54, Amy.
Thawing out a little bit today. That'll feel nice. It's still cold this morning, so you need to bundle up heading out the door this morning. And just a quick reminder, I did have a little bit of frost on my windshield this morning, so you might have to scrape the windshield pretty quickly this morning. 31 to start the day. It's windy throughout the day, and then 54 for the high this afternoon. That'll feel nice. A live look at Fenton and Cary, looking very festive with the tree lit up. Lots of folks were out there yesterday with school out. For many of you enjoying the ice skating rink. It's cold out there this morning, 29 in Holly Springs and Fayetteville, 29 in Garner. It's 28 right now in Rocky Mount and 29 in Chapel Hill. So a cold start to the day. This is our next weather maker. It's a cold front that will bring some cooler air for tomorrow and Friday. Ahead of it, we have this strong southerly flow, though, and it is going to be pretty windy outside with gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Talking about winter alerts, we actually have some in the North Carolina mountains. Winter weather advisory. They could get some snow in the coming days. Nothing for us. We'll stay dry, and certainly the heaviest snow will stay across the Northeast, but a little bit of snow in the next several days for at least parts of the North Carolina mountains, especially in the northern part of our mountains. For us today, the big story will be those gusty winds, milder temperatures. We'll be back in the low to mid 50s. This evening will be pretty comfortable, low 50s through 6 o'clock and then back down into the upper 40s. Not quite as cold overnight tonight. We'll get down to about 34 overnight tonight. So many of us staying above freezing. That's nice. But with the front today, that does drop our temperatures. 47 for the high temperature Thursday. We'll drop it down to 49 on Friday. A little bit milder Saturday, we have some Christmas parades. I'll talk more about that in the next half hour. Durham and Cary have their parades this weekend. 55 and looking good. For the start of Hanukkah, temperatures will be in the upper 40s on Sunday and then looking cold as we head into next week.
Amy, thank you. 4:50 now on your Wednesday morning. Hollywood history. Taylor Swift is topping the Billboard end-of-year charts, and one actor is set to be honored with a star. We'll tell you what's happening in entertainment. Plus, open for visitors. A look at the governor's home, decked out for the holidays. How you can get a peek inside. New news about two generations of chart-topping singers, and an actor is set to be honored on the Walk of Fame. David Daniel has today's Hollywood Minute.
Taylor Swift keeps making music history. Her album, The Life of a Showgirl, is #1 on the 2025 year-end Billboard 200 albums chart. It's the record 5th time Swift has topped the year-end tally. She also did it last year with the Tortured Poets Department.
They were the standard for who we grew up to be.
Courtney B. Vance has met the standard for the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The award-winning actor is set to be honored with a star for his television work on Tuesday, December 16th. One of the guest speakers will be another Walk of Famer, Vance's wife, Angela Bassett. Christina Aguilera marks 25 years since her first Christmas album with a Yuletide trip to the City of Lights. Christina Aguilera Christmas in Paris features holiday classics and some of her biggest hits. The musical celebration plays in theaters December 14th and 21st only. Locations and showtimes at fathomentertainment.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Starting next year, Chanel Jones will join Jenna Bush Hager as a new permanent co-host for the 4th hour of Today. It will now be called Today with Jenna and Chanel. Jones will officially join the show on January 12th. This comes after Hoda Kotb left the role last year. Since then, there have been 60 rotating co-hosts. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You is back at the top of the charts, and now it's tied an all-time record. The holiday favorite, released more than 30 years ago, has now spent a total of 19 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And that ties the record set by Shaboozey's A Bar Song and Old Town Road by Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus. This is the 7th straight Christmas season that All I Want for Christmas Is You has hit #1. Former President Barack Obama is spreading the holiday spirit to students in Chicago. He surprised more than 24 elementary students with a special story time at the Chicago Public Library yesterday. It is a part of a new program at the Obama Presidential Center set to launch next year. All of the kids were gifted a winter hat, gloves, and a book to take home. This week, you can visit the Executive Mansion in Raleigh. Visitors can tour the governor's downtown home to see holiday decorations and enjoy music from local performers. The first floor is decorated with Christmas trees grown in the state, floral and mixed evergreen arrangements, a gingerbread house, and mantle displays. The mansion will be open tomorrow night through Saturday, and it is free to visit. Ahead at 5, an hours-long standoff ends. What we're expecting to learn today about the man accused in a shooting in Granville County. And cuts possible. Today, Wake County school leaders will talk about difficult decisions, what they may need to do, and what it could mean for students and staff. Healthcare hotline. Coverage changes coming in the new year. 5 on your side shares how you can get your questions answered for free ahead of next week's enrollment deadline.